All right, what's going on, everybody?
What's
Welcome
good?
back to the Raymond J podcast. Yeah, you already know what's up.
Sick.
All right, so everybody, it's Raymond J TV. Welcome back to the podcast. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
JP.
Bobby.
All right, so y'all already know JP from a couple of the past podcasts. Bobby, we did one before, but there was some technical difficulties, so we never got to post it. But hopefully this one works out better. Now we got JP with us also, so it should be a little more fun. Yeah. So
Good way to describe it.
yeah. So yeah. So how y'all been? How's it going? You know.
Pretty good. School and work. School and work. Yep.
Same here. Just been working. You know.
Yeah, just work.
Adulting, huh? So, Bob.
It's like a reunion though.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it really
yeah.
is. So I mean, yeah.
The last video we were together, we kind of made Bobby kind of mad, or we got him pretty good.
Oh, that's right. So if you've been watching the channel for a minute, you know you'll know this guy from the prank video. We'll have that linked down below if you haven't seen that one. And that's when this guy first made his appearance. You also see him in the cooking beans video. So make sure you go watch that video also. But yeah, so I've been friends with these guys for a while. Pretty much definitely this guy almost all my life. About the same amount for this guy. But yeah, you know, and it's just, we figured we'd come together, get on a podcast and just reminisce, you know?
Yeah.
Just kind of talk about the old days. And so yeah, I guess we got to introduce ourselves properly. So back in the day, I was known as Vinny, only because everybody thought that I looked like him, you know, and so it was a nickname that stuck. So everybody called me Vinny. Tyler, if you want to mention.
They called me Tyler. Just
Tyler, the creator.
they just called me that because back then I was like really dark, like really really dark, like a lot darker than this.
Dark.
And my head was like, I had that cut like that too. So yeah, I kind of saw the resemblance.
Yeah.
And this was like mainly our friends, just us, our crew that really called each other this. I mean, Vinny, everybody called Raymond
Vinny.
Yeah.
Like Tyler, it was mainly like his cousin Matt, our homie Matt. He was Taco, because weren't they like
They're friends. They're like best friends.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're primos,
Yeah.
brothers, you know. So I guess that's why we called Matt
Yeah.
Taco.
Yeah.
I
think he told me
looked
that.
like a taco too.
I think he says because of the
Out of us,
glasses
the best
too.
one.
You
To be a
look
taco.
like a taco. I can see that. Not
What'd you
for
say,
real,
bro?
I think he told me that you said because he had like glasses on too, because Taco had glasses.
I remember that was
apparently.
my reason, because I was Kirko, and I had short hair too. I would get like, like a Raymond fade, or just,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I guess a Kirko fade, and then I had glasses too. So I remember that was the reason why, and I liked Kirko bangs.
Kirko.
It was around the time when it was popping.
For real though, people probably watching right now like who's Kirko.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure. They
Nah,
still
I'm pretty
remember.
sure
Some people said
Yeah. So
he got some hits
Yeah, he had quite a bit of hits.
for sure.
For sure.
we didn't have a name for Julian though, huh?
we did,
I-
but we can never remember what it was.
Yeah.
Julian's another
man.
one of our homies from back in the day. R.I.P.
You still living strong. Shout out to Julian. Shout out to Matt.
Shout out to Matt, all the homies. If you're watching this,
Rigo.
that was a wild night, man. Set that truck on fire. Would never would have happened if it wasn't for this guy right here. All right.
Well, I mean, it would have never happened if there was no fire.
That's true. That's true. But
I blame Rigo for the giant tumbleweed still.
it was a good time. All right, you know what I mean. So, see, JP wasn't there for that night.
But I
But
definitely know the story.
He knows the story because it was a really big story in our friend group. So
Not even all around town.
School.
Everyone
yeah,
knew,
everybody
bro.
knew about it. It was pretty wild.
Because there was smoke in there, and you
Mhm.
could see it from anywhere around town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bro,
But I'm
yeah,
pretty
y'all
sure.
seen the smoking? Yeah, that was us.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure my dad.
We were all
knows.
proud of it.
But
Like,
I didn't say it, but I just remember
Yeah,
y'all
yeah.
being like that.
but like, see, it started because we just used to like to make fires in general, we would just either do something with fire or fireworks or whatever. And like, how did it start? I always forget.
Well, first it was just a cookout.
Well, first I'll give them the real story. What did y'all tell the cops? And then tell them like, the story.
Wait, so tell the real story first?
Nah, just playing, bro.
Or should
Just
we-
because you know what I mean. What did y'all tell the cops was the story?
So, what we told the cops was
What really happened?
what really happened is we were having a cookout. We had a grill going, and some wind picked up, and a few ambers flew out of the grill, and fell underneath
An old pickup truck.
an old pickup truck that was parked there, and caught fire underneath the truck, and it just got uncontrollable,
Yeah.
and
We didn't have no water to stop it or anything.
couldn't put it out, and so that was
It's
it.
tragic, man.
It was tragic, and
Almost died.
it was just
Didn't y'all say like y'all were running, like felt like y'all were running slow motion and shit because like it blew up?
yeah.
Or he did.
Like, see,
I was
like-
one stuck in the fire.
Okay, tell me what happened then. I know that's what happened, but
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
you know,
like
I got
the
you.
day started off like
Okay, so it started off like any other day, you know. Morning came, did our morning workouts, wore our morning routines, you know. It was a normal day. And, you know, every day we would normally chill. Just
After
normally
school.
after school, we'd go to chill at the trailer. And this was during school. Like, we were still in school. It was a school night because the next day was the tax test.
so it was like the end of the year
it was
almost.
still called tax.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the star. It was
star.
the
It was
the
star
star, it was
test.
the star
Yeah, we
test.
did the star test.
It's like,
And
dang,
so-
we're old. I mean, we still did take the tax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, anyways, we were out there, and it was there was a bunch of tumbleweeds because we were like already in spring, so like there was a bunch of like tumbleweeds because nothing had grew back yet. You know what I mean? Everything was still dead from the winter, so we had a bunch of tumbleweeds just out there in my yard, and so naturally what we would do is we'd pile them all up, make like a big pile. And you know, anybody who's burned tumbleweeds before knows as soon as as soon as you light it, it goes
just
off.
ignite.
And so, of course, us being who we were, that's what we were doing. So we were just making fire, and then
Rigo.
Rigo busted out with this
Giant
fucking
tumbleweed.
tumbleweed,
Like
I
the
mean,
size of a van.
Yeah, it was
Like he was carrying it
huge.
with two hands like that.
It was huge, and so like we had a fire already going, and he just
Threw it on top of it to make it even. Like it
Oh,
went
shit.
like, you know, the tree right there that was by the trailer?
Mm-hmm.
It went higher than that tree. Like the flame went.
like
That's wild.
it went up, and then so of course at first we were like, oh shit, like hell yeah,
And
and then we look over and like the fire like spread, because like I won't see, and I guess on us too was we didn't like check the surroundings, we would just do whatever, and so there was a bunch of grass right there, so it caught the grass, and so the grass caught fire, started spreading underneath that pickup truck, and we caught it at first when it first started, and we were like, oh shit, like we got to put that out. So we were prepared because we had a bucket of water.
There we go.
We had a 5-gallon bucket of water on standby, you know, like any responsible fireman would do.
Let me mention that this bucket has no handle. There's no handle on this bucket though.
All right, and so, you know, we're like, oh shit, we need the water. So we like, Bob, go get the water. So Bobby's like, he runs into the trailer.
Remind you, this is a bucket about like not that tall, full of water. They told just me to go and carry it from the trailer down the steps to the truck.
All right,
Another
so,
10 yards.
well, let's see, and here was the thing, was that Bobby, he made it through the trailer.
The hardest part.
Made
right?
it down. He made it down the steps, and on his way to the truck,
Reminding y'all, I'm carrying it like this on the brim that whole time.
and so he's coming, and I'm like looking at the fire, and then next thing I know, I just hear the where he spills all the water,
Oh,
and
shit.
because he fell, he tripped. He was running with the water.
It was that black tarp or thing that was in the middle where we had the fire all the time.
I don't remember that. What? Point is, you spilled the water. So then there went the water. And so then it was like, so we had no choice but to kind of like get underneath the truck and stomp it out as best we could. And we put it out like it was fine. And so we were like, all right, we need to calm down now. But then we looked over to the left, to the right.
Yeah.
And where my fence is at, like at the entrance of my house, there was like a whole bunch of tumbleweeds just piled up against that fence. So then I was like, that's the move right there.
I just kept going. Oh no.
And so then I was like, all right, bet. So then
I stopped. I was done.
Yeah, and here was the thing too. It was like, see, Bob was done because he was already disappointed that he spilled the water. And so so we go over to this and like we start lighting it up, you know what I mean? So it can start going. And this guy, he's like walking around it, like keeping it contained, you know what I mean? He's keeping it controlled. And then all of us were like, Bob, leave it alone. Just let it fucking burn. And so Bob was just like, all right, fine, whatever.
And I walked away and went back to the trailer. I was like, all right.
And then next thing you know, that fire starts getting too big. And then we were just, then I was like, oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So,
did y'all have water?
No, because the water hose only
because
reached
this guy spilled it.
Well, why didn't y'all get more before y'all went to the next
And see,
thing?
here's the thing is that we did, like, afterwards, then, yeah, we were like, we could have just gone to refill the bucket and came back. And then,
That's
like,
the move.
and like, so, like, and, like, okay, so, like, for those of you who don't know, like, the way my house is, like, or the actual house, it's like far away from where we were at. So like, cause like my house, I have like a whole bunch of like land, I guess, and so the main house is super far away from where we were. So like our water hose only reached
like half the way.
So we couldn't reach the water hose. It was an idea, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
And so, so anyway, so now all these tumbleweeds on this fence are like blazing, and so I was like, fuck. And so I remember I grabbed a blanket. I grabbed a big blanket and I was like, watch out, I got a fire blanket.
It's just
And so
regular.
I like tried to like bat out the fire and then the blanket just caught on fire. And
then he
like,
threw the blanket.
I was like, shit. And so then I was like, let me go find something else. So I go running back to the trailer and then I look at the truck and it's back on fire. And so then I was like,
wait, is the truck by
so like,
Okay, so like the fence was already lit.
the entrance?
Yeah.
Fence, right?
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
And then it started getting bigger and bigger. And once it did, more of the...
But isn't the truck
Amber.
like in the driveway? Like
No, because when you're coming up the drive, it's that one brown truck that
yeah,
was sitting
it was
there
like right there
by the
Yeah.
fence.
Yeah.
So like the wind was pushing it and the amber went back.
like by the
so-
room?
yeah,
where we
so-
did the fireworks?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
And
went back
so-
underneath the truck again
Yeah.
and recaught
And
it.
so we were like, fuck. And so then I was like, it was only four of us. It was me, Julian, this guy, and Rigo. So then I went back and I was like, hey, yo, the truck's back on fire. And I was like, what's what we do? 2 of us work on the truck and 2 of y'all work on the fence. And so we were like, all right. Now, at this point, the fire is big enough that we should just call the fire department.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to get in trouble. You know what I mean? Keep in mind, up to this point, my parents still don't know what's going on.
I have yet to walk outside to see what's happening.
And so then I remember me and Julian started working on the truck, trying to put out the truck. And then Bobby and Rigo were working on the fence. Okay, and now the sun's going down at this point. It's getting late, so now it's getting darker. And then, so we're like, we're just doing our thing. I remember. Oh, that was outside. I was like, what the fuck is that? So anyways, so I remember I got to the point where I was under the truck, like trying to stomp it out again. But I didn't realize that the entire truck was already on fire.
Yeah.
And then this is when the explosion happened. Because then here's what happened. So as I was doing this, I look over to the entrance, and a cop pulls in. And then as soon as I see the cop pulling, you just see Julian and Rigo just book it.
Reminding you, Rigo was...
Oh yeah, so Rigo's like he was
a lineman back then.
he was huge. He's a big guy. Like how
I don't want to estimate it, but he's
He was
guy.
bigger than all of us.
and Julian was
Julian was probably the fastest out of all of us.
yeah, he was tall, he was skinny, he was a fit guy. But the big guy
Rigo.
outran Julian like
By a good 10 yards.
Yeah.
Like he booked it. He was gone.
gone. And so
He was
like
gone.
and so when I seen them run away, I seen them run, and in my mind I was like, why are they running? Like fuck. But the cop's sitting there, and so I stand up, and like right when I get up, that's when the truck like, and I like fucking like flew. I mean, I don't know how far I went, but I ain't gonna lie. I felt like I flew a good 5 yards, and I fall and hit the floor. And this is when everything was slow motion for me. You know, it was like a movie scene, so it was like. You know, and so like, and I look, and then the cop sees what happened to me, and he says, "Fuck that."
Yeah, and reminding you, I didn't run still. I'm trapped by the fence in a corner with the fire surrounding me. The cop looks at me, looks in my eyes.
You said, "Fuck," just put it in reverse and got out of there. So he left, and so then I was like, "What the fuck?" And so I get up and I start running, and then like I'm running, and then I realize this is my house. Where am I going? You know what I mean? So like I stop, and I still have the lighter in my hand, so I chunked that shit, and then so I go back to the main house, and then so it's just me at this point. Rigo and Julian dipped out. And he's still stuck in the fire.
You didn't even know.
I didn't know.
He didn't know.
I didn't know I thought at first I thought he ran with everybody else. Because when I was by myself, I thought it was just me. And so I get back to the main house, and that's when my parents finally come out. And then they were like, "What the heck's going on?" And I was just standing there, looking at this blaze in the distance.
Did you tell him anything?
Like, right away, no. I was just like. We fucked up, you know. and then of course now you start seeing the entire city of Muleshoe come, and you got like 3 ambulances. We only have 3 ambulances in Muleshoe, maybe 2. I don't know. All the ambulances came.
Almost all the fire trucks.
All the cops and sheriff's department showed up. Every fire truck showed up. They even had the neighboring counties coming over to help and shit. Like, you know how small towns are. They go all out. You know, you had DPS showing up. You had everything.
Damn.
And so. I remember Benny, because Benny's the fire marshal. I don't know if he still is, but like he was the fire marshal at the time. So he was the one that was like investigating how the fire started. And so, well, first things first is they come up to us and they're like, "Where are the 2 that ran away?" And see, because Bobby shows up out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, I finally have enough, and I'm like, fuck this, and then I just ran straight through it. I was like, it's either I die or I run through it. So I ran through it.
And I remember, like, I'm standing there, and then I just see Bobby come running out of nowhere, and then I was like, "I didn't even know you were still there, bro." And he was like, "Yeah, I was stuck." And so then they come and ask us, like, "Where are the 2 that ran away?" And then we were just like,
there was no other 2.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And so then they were like, "All right, come on, like."
We saw them with our eyes run away.
Yeah, like there was 4 of them. You know, y'all the only 2 left. And so,
Rigo was the first one they got.
Yeah, so Rigo got caught in the alley, and he got caught like a deer in headlights.
Just walked down. It was the same alley. It was just like what 100 feet from your house,
right there next to the house. Like
just walks down the alley.
He was just walking, and the cops see him, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he was just like, "Just walking." And so then they brought him back, and then they were like, "Where's the other guy?" And then we were just we couldn't play it off, you know. And at this point, we were like, we're in trouble, you know. Yeah, so I was just like, he lives right there, because you know how he lived like right there down the street from me. So.
It was like Julian's house alley. Open the gate, Julian's house.
Yeah, so I was like, he lives right there. And so then they were like, well, you need to call him, you know, and tell him to come back. So we kept texting him, trying to call him, and he wasn't answering. Next thing we know, we see from the side of the house, we see this person walk up on the phone, and it looks just like Julian.
Just like him.
And he's
like
standing there on the phone, and then we're like,
oh, there he
is. We were like...
And then
we were like,
they're like, "Hey, you!" And like that dude booked it, bro. And the cops chased him, and then we were like, "Why is he running?" And then out of nowhere, Julian's like, "Who are they chasing?"
Yeah, he just walks up from behind us like, "Who are they chasing?" We were like, "We thought they were chasing you." And so then, and I remember like they came back all out of breath.
They were like,
"It wasn't him," and we were like, "Yeah, he's
he
here.
just came up."
And so here's where the cops messed up, was they let us be alone while they were
all together
while they were putting out the fire.
Yeah.
So during that time, we were like, "Hey, let's get our stories straight." So then that's when we were like, we were having a cookout. It caught the truck, and then from the truck it spread to the fence. So that's what each of us said. And then at the very end, Benny comes up to all of us and he was like, "All right, guys, so it doesn't look like it started the way you're saying it did, but I can't prove that it started otherwise, so we're just gonna have to go with it." And then I remember like one of the cops was like, well, like they were all just kind of being, you know, dicks, you know, just being the way they are, you know, and so
they
they
were
were,
dicks back then.
because they wanted to. I remember they were all saying like talking shit, saying they were like, we should just fine all of their parents $2,000, you know, shit like that, and it was like they were basically trying to make it. They were doing their best
To try to get us.
like on arson, you know what I mean, saying like we started a fire on purpose, like for no reason. And I mean, technically we did, but like not in the sense of like we were purposely trying to like destroy something, you know what I mean? We just got unlucky that the truck caught on fire, you know what I mean? And so but that's what they were trying their best to try to get us for the worst and whatnot. And so, but anyways, eventually we were just like, well, you can't prove it, so you know. And so they let us go, and we were young too. We were only like 15, 16.
Yeah, it was like the end
So,
of
like,
our junior years, right?
I feel like it was freshman.
Was it freshman?
No, it was 8th grade, bro.
It was 8th grade, right?
They were young.
Yeah, it was 8th grade.
I thought it was.
Yeah, we were in 8th grade. So then, so yeah, I mean, we were kids. So of course they were just like, it's whatever. You know what I mean?
Then y'all got in trouble.
Who?
Y'all did by coach.
Oh yeah, we all got in trouble by Coach Wood. Yeah, he got all of us in trouble.
Bobby wasn't in it.
He didn't get my ass.
And so, yeah, I remember that. He made us hard yard a lot for like 2 months.
No.
Like till the end of school, I remember. He was mad. He was mainly mad at like Julian.
Because he
I
was
wasn't
his
no star
favorite.
player, so he didn't really care about me. But like, because I
That's
was
good.
involved, I had to do it. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. And then I remember he told Julian not to hang out with us anymore. He like it was like as if none of the rest of us were in athletics. You know, he was
He
like,
was like that a lot.
yeah. So he told Julian not to hang out with me and Bobby.
And then he told them not to hang out with me no more because I was in athletics.
Yeah, I remember that he told all of us not to hang out with this guy just because he wasn't in athletics, and it was no good. And so, but obviously we didn't listen. We still did our own thing, and so, but yeah, ultimately that is what happened. Is it just got out of hand, and if only the water wouldn't have been spilt.
Someone wouldn't have wanted to light a fence worth of tumbleweeds. Like,
Y'all should have thought about it after y'all stopped the first one.
nah.
y'all
They
started
shouldn't
the
have
second
stopped me from turning them out when they were getting too much. That's what I did. When they would get too big, I'm like, aight. And then I'd stomp it. And they were like, quit. Let it be. And I was like,
Yeah.
But y'all still should have had some more.
nah. I was done. I was like, aight.
Yeah, it was just not a good night, but it was
Then
definitely.
we went to school the next day.
Yeah, I
we were
remember.
all in the same class.
We were all in the same class for the STAR test, so like we were all in there, and I remember we were like,
We were all laughing because we knew what happened.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Did y'all see that fire that happened?"
yeah,
we were all
we
like,
kept telling people, "Did you hear about that fire last night? Shit was crazy." And then I remember even Mr. Stevenson, the band director, he knew about it, so he wouldn't let us take our instruments home
didn't Coach Boatman?
because he didn't want us to set them on fire.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Coach Boatman was he was the one in tax with us? Or no? Did the teacher watch us?
Man, I don't even remember.
I think it was because he sat down and wanted to hear the story. I think because wasn't.
No, I feel like you're thinking of freshman year whenever he knew about it and he wanted us to tell him what happened. But I think that happened freshman year. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I remember that. You know, eventually everybody knew what really happened, and it was just, you know, it's a fun story. It's a funny story.
For y'all out there, my dad don't know, so.
So make sure you tag him.
Nah.
Yeah, I remember his mom showed up pissed. You know, my parents were pissed.
I'd take my mom over my dad.
Julian's dad came and then Julian's dad told my dad, he was like, yeah, Julian walked in and was like, I'm going to take a shower and go to bed.
And that's what he did. He said he took a shower, went to bed.
Yeah,
Who
like
made him
he was just
go back?
gonna
Because
dip
he
out on
knew
us.
he was in
Yeah,
trouble.
because whenever we were calling and saying like, hey, the cops are here, like they know. So like he didn't want to get in bigger trouble. So he went ahead and came back.
Yeah.
And then,
But back then too, though, he wasn't legal though.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why
what
he didn't
made
wanna
it
come
hard.
back.
He didn't want to put himself on the radar, you know. And so, Yeah, he just walked in his house and was like, all right, I'm gonna take a shower and go to bed. Funny guy. But yeah, that was a wild time. That was a wild time, you know. But again, you know, I mean, Bob has just always been the clumsy one, you know.
Remember your brother in the box?
What?
I don't think you were there.
No,
but
you weren't there. That was just
we
one
were
time.
young,
Yeah,
bro.
we
I
I remember Aaron was little, and so like we're in my house. We're just all chilling in the living room, and there was like this big ass box, you know, like those boxes that like the styrofoam cups come in.
Oh
you
yeah,
know, like
yeah.
those big boxes.
Uh-huh.
There was one of those, and like the flaps were closed, and I guess Aaron thought that like there was stuff in it, and it was like a sturdy box.
Oh, I think you told me about this.
So he like tried to get on the sit, and he just and his whole shit just folded.
Like a folding chair, bro.
I remember he just fell in. He just started crying.
We couldn't help but
Cried.
laugh,
We
bro.
couldn't help him because we were laughing, and then
Couldn't help but laugh,
Bro, y'all are so
and
mean.
then my dad finally came and pulled him out. It was so funny that he just fucking.
Was it time whenever we were knocking down the trailer over, or just moving?
Yeah,
Oh
you
yeah,
were there
when we
too. Yeah,
when
yeah.
we knocked it over and it went.
Yeah, it felt loud too.
Yeah, because it was like a whole back of a semi
Yeah.
that we just tipped over.
Yeah,
Because
it
it
took
was
us
just
a little while, but we were all in the same movement.
because it was only
It was just sitting on
it was
plywood.
resting on some pipe. You know what I mean? So we were just like, hey, and then we were so all of us were just rocking it, and then it finally just. And then we were like, shit.
We were like, damn, that was loud.
Yeah,
Bro,
Man,
we were,
not-
it was like satisfying, bro. Like,
Yeah, it was fun.
We were
But,
like, fuck yeah, we got it.
And then Aaron brings my dad outside, and then my dad was like, "What happened?" And then we were just like, "It just fell." And then Aaron, no, they pushed it. And
Yeah, because
Because he
first,
went out there while
yeah.
we were doing it.
Yeah,
and
'cause
you
he
told
was
him to
like,
go inside.
and he was like, and we were like, don't say anything. And he was
yeah,
like, okay.
What do you do? Go
And
tell
he
him.
went inside, and your dad came out. What happened?
it just
It
fell.
just fell. Well,
No, yeah, we're pushing.
Yeah, and we were just like, this guy. But
good.
yeah, it was all good. It weren't tripping, but
Dad didn't get us in trouble.
nah.
He laughed and went back
Yeah, he
inside.
didn't really care.
He was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is, you know. As far as all those trucks that were out there and everything, it was just like, I mean,
They were
they've been
Dump
here all my
anyway,
life.
yeah.
So, I mean, if you're not going to do nothing with them, you're not going to do nothing with them.
I mean, Raymond's house had a lot of just
semis.
stuff
All the
that
Mack
we could
trucks.
explore and do obstacle
Obstacle
courses.
courses.
And
Yeah.
he had the pipe where we did the firecracker, and that we even recorded that. It's on Facebook, and everyone that was there was like our little crew.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that was when we were all
We
together.
need to get
Yeah,
that
we need to
video off of
recreate it.
Facebook
We need to, like, repost it and recreate it. Like, do it again.
with the bigger
See-
fireworks.
Yeah. See what happens.
No axe can though.
Yeah,
Bro,
we
we
did
should-
Roman candles, bro.
Yeah,
That's
I
all
know.
we-
I was going to say, we should have, like, recorded everything that we would do. Like,
artillery shells.
Well,
down there.
well, I have like most of the videos, like I said, on that iPod that
Yeah,
broke. I just don't know the passcode to it still, because it's like it was like when iPods first came out.
Yeah, those were the days though.
There was like so many of us like running across the obstacle courses and
yeah. So just to put it in perspective, so like my house is like an old apartment complex. So like we lived in like the main building, and like the rest of all the other buildings were just like abandoned, you know. And so my grandparents had bought that place to use it for like, so my grandpa, he was a mechanic and whatnot, so they would use it to store all the trucks, and it was basically like their own personal junkyard where they could leave parts, have parts, things like that. So like because we had all those extra buildings and trucks, we were able to make these things like the obstacle courses and whatnot. And then
Clubhouses. and
clubhouses,
shit,
yeah. Yo, that was
we
dope.
would always make a new one in each room.
Yeah, yeah, that was dope. I remember.
And then we
We
finally
put
found
PlayStations in there. We had a big ass TV.
That
in
big
there.
TV.
we had to keep going from different rooms because every time it rained, that
Yeah.
room would break through.
And then we finally found that one that wouldn't leak.
And then we just
Then we threw that party,
I mean, people showed up.
and people showed up. I remember like everybody was like, "Yeah, let's throw a party." Like, hey, this Friday, party at Raymond's house. And we were spreading the word. Like,
if it was like a
we
high
didn't-
school thing.
we didn't even think it was gonna be
I
serious.
think we were in junior high. Was it high school?
No, we were
it
in
was
junior
It was
high.
my freshman year because that was the
Oh,
night
was
I
it?
asked out Mariah.
I was in junior high, but yeah, around that time.
I remember.
Oh damn, we were.
I remember.
Dang. Feel old, bro.
Should have never did it though.
It's a different story. Let's not get into that.
That's a different story. Yeah, let's not get into that. But yeah, wild times,
Days,
wild times.
The airsoft war. Airsoft war was fun.
Oh, yeah, were you not? You went there for the airsoft
Mhm.
war.
I heard y'all all went out though, or Jackson.
Jackson
Yeah,
went all
Jackson.
out, bro.
Yeah, he had a ghillie suit. He had a sniper, everything, bro. And then,
Dude, we were all just like in just jeans and pants, like normal.
okay, no, we weren't. Or you and Matthew weren't.
Okay.
I thought we were just wearing jeans and t-shirts. These guys had taped like cardboard and shit underneath their
No.
shirts.
What we did is got duct tape and we just went.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did.
Wow.
We went 2 strips over, so that way when the pellet would hit, it wouldn't hurt as much, but it still fucking hurt. Cause like we hit each other and we were like, "Ah, fuck!" We're like, "All right, it don't work."
Y'all
And we-
hit each other.
yeah, and then cause we were on opposite teams. Cause remember, it was me and you. Because
Yeah.
first it was Matt and Jackson.
Yeah.
Also, like
Cause Matt had the fucking.
when the game was started, y'all didn't like test try it whenever y'all.
No,
were
me and
saying
Matt
that.
were just
That
like.
would have been funny.
it was
All right,
like-
you should go over there. I'll shoot you. Real quick.
me and Matt were like, "This has got to work." I mean, it's duct tape, so it's kind of like, I mean, it's just a small little pellet,
Yeah.
but nah.
Either way, they had some form of protection. I didn't. But it was fun. It was a fun night. And then I remember when it got dark, since this guy was so dark,
Back
I
then,
remember we did like, let's do like a manhunt. So we were like, Bob,
go high.
you're going to go and hide. And then us three are going to go and try and find you and take you
And
out.
yeah, I went full out. I was like, all right. So I took off my shirt and everything. And I already had black shorts on and black shoes. So I was like, I'm blacked
Blacked
out
out.
pretty much. So I was like, they ain't going to find me.
Yeah.
And let Jackson even did he give me one of his CO2 pistols? He did, right? Because all I had was that
No,
Tommy gun.
I think you just had the spring.
The
So
spring.
y'all was still using guns and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
but they
basically-
had like the badass guns. I had the spring loaded one.
The one that
Dang,
you got to
so
cock
everybody
every
against
time.
you, bro?
Was it-
Matthew had the AK that went full automatic and
Mhm.
was electric.
Yeah.
And Jackson had a sniper and he had like
And a
4
CO2 pistol.
pistols and like didn't he bring like a machine pistol?
Something like that. Because then I
Yeah.
remember I had an Uzi and a CO2 pistol.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then-
they left me with a Tommy gun to cock back and
Yeah,
shoot
so
each
you
time.
can only shoot. It's like,
Right.
It was one of those that you gotta.
And it's all y'all against him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like, well, here was the plan. Here was the plan. Was like we were like, all right, Bob, you're gonna go hide. We're gonna try and find you and take you out. But if you can take us out before we take you out, then you win. You know what I mean?
Were y'all split up or did y'all all go together?
No, or they all came together.
Yeah.
They gave me like
a
a
split up.
what,
That would have been easier because like, you know what I mean.
would
You
y'all
could
give me
knock-
like a
knock
5-minute
'em out.
start?
Yeah,
One
we
at a
get
time.
we gave Bob like a 5-minute head start to go hide, and then yeah. So anyways, so we're going and we're doing our thing, and
Mhm.
we can't find this guy, and it gets to a point where, so this is where the stories kind of take a turn, you know, to the scary side of things. So because it's dark, completely dark, it's late, and like so we're like all walking trying to find Bob, and then we said something like funny or something, and then from like one of the rooms next to us we hear like a snicker, or like somebody was just like you know what I mean.
Laughing. Like,
Yeah.
kinda like
Yeah.
that.
So we were like, so then we were like, oh, we got you, Bob. We're like, we heard you. You know what I mean? And so we're all right there in front of the room. So then we were like, all right, Bob, like we're not gonna just blast you right here. So if you just come out, surrender, you know, like we got you. Like
Mhm.
we're not gonna shoot you. Just come out. And then from way over here,
I'm like,
we hear this dude Bob just bust out like lies. And so we were like, what?
and then they started blasting me. I was like,
And
lie.
he started blasting him. Well, because like
Did you hit anybody?
No, because I didn't shoot. Because they said they weren't gonna shoot. So I went lies, and they started shooting. I was like, ah, and they all just went. And I was like, God damn.
well, because here's the thing was like he busted out from a whole nother spot.
We're okay.
We were focused on this room. Like we heard the laugh from the room. We were like, he's right here. So when we hear someone yell over here, we were like, you know what I mean? And so he was just like, what the heck? And we were like, bro, somebody's in this room. And so at that point, it turned into we're about to fuck somebody up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like somebody's here. And I remember at this, then Jackson starts tripping, bro.
And he like, I would just want to go home, bro.
Yeah, like he got scared, and so like now me, Bob, and Matt, you
We're
know,
just used
we
to
of course
it.
we had always like experienced weird shit out there before, so we were just kind of like, let's see what it is. Maybe somebody's out here that's just
Fucking
not supposed to
notice.
be here, you know, like.
Mhm.
So of course we got the weapons, you know. I mean, sure it was BB guns, but like, you know.
Right.
So I remember we like had our phone lights and we're all approaching the room, and then I was like, all right, on 3, we're just gonna bust in the room and start blasting. and so we were like, all right, 1, 2, 3, we just bust in. and there was
Full
no
SWAT. There was no one in
and
there.
there was nobody.
There was no
And
one.
so I like that's the kind of shit that I wish we would have recorded, like to see how stupid we looked, like with fucking airsoft guns just busting in, and then like this guy,
Yeah.
with this gotta reload.
They still
every
didn't give
time.
me a CO2 after all that. They still let me keep the Tom.
But yeah, nobody was in there. So then we were just like, but like, bro, like we knew that we heard something, like we
Yeah.
heard someone laugh, you know. So Jackson was tripping. So then he calls his parents to come pick him up.
And he leaves.
And he didn't even like his parents, because like, you know how the house is. So like
It's
his parents stopped at the dinner bell because they didn't know how to get up there.
Mhm.
So Jackson was gonna go meet them there, and we had to walk him down
All
to
the
dinner
way
bell,
to
'cause
dinner
He didn't
bell.
want to walk by himself. So like, yeah, he was
Yeah.
definitely it was an experience for him. And so, but of course with us, it's like we were kind of used to it. But like,
Mhm.
we would always hear stuff out there, you know, like hear noises or whatever, and like, yeah.
That's crazy.
But like, yeah, it was a crazy. That was crazy night. It was a fun game turned into a.
Is that like the little girl story or no?
Well,
That's one of them,
yeah,
but that's not
one
the
of 'em, but-
original.
Yeah. So like the little girl story, like the original story is one night we were out in the trailer, and did we stay the night out there?
We were going to.
That's right.
And we had turned out the fire
Yeah.
because we were like, all right, we're going to go to sleep now.
Yeah. We were gonna stay the night in the trailer and just live outdoors.
Is
And
this
so
before the airsoft war or after?
This is like the
Before- this
first
was like-
time
yeah,
we
when we-
first
yeah.
discovered the trailer and how nice it was.
yeah, like when we first started hanging out there.
Mhm.
And so we were out there. We had a fire going and everything. And then we put it out. We were gonna crash out in the trailer. And who was it that noticed it first?
Julian.
Okay, yeah.
Because
So,
Julian was the most paranoid.
yeah, and so Julian's looking out the window and he's like, "Bro, there's somebody out there." And so we were just like, "Go to bed,
there's
bro. Like
not.
relax." You know what I mean? And then, and I think it was you who looked next.
Yeah, because I was like, because I walked from the kitchen because I was on the kitchen floor and I got up
Yeah.
where Julian was on the bed and I looked at the window and all I could see was
I don't know.
them downstairs. I could see like just a black figure standing like 3 feet from the room. Like you could barely see it because there was like no moonlight or anything, but you could like see it.
Like
I was
somebody
like-
was saying. So when he said it, then I was like, God damn it. So I got up. Like, I'm still thinking like they're supposed to be tripping. Because like I've lived there all my life, you know? So like, now, I mean, I've seen, like heard things and like whatnot.
I remember you used
Like,
to
yeah,
scare me.
you know, it's a sketchy place. I get it. But like I had never seen nothing that was like, okay, something's here. You know what I mean? But when they were tripping, I was like, I was just tripping because y'all like used to staying like out here or whatnot. So like I get up and I look. And sure enough, it's just this dark figure. Like, but like it was like it was a kid. You know what I mean? Like you could tell they weren't like tall or nothing like that. You could tell it was like the size of like a kid, you know, and you could see like long hair. So that's why we were like,
It's a little girl.
sometimes like like and I was tripping as soon as I seen. All right, so sorry, apologies. We had some technical difficulties there, kind of got cut off. But back to what we were saying. So now at this point, I was tripping for seeing that. So us being, who we were like, we wanted to go see what it was. So I remember but I remember what you're saying because we went around the backside of the building.
After we saw.
Yeah, because we went up close, but then we were like, nah, like we got up close to the room and we were just like, nah, I'm not going in there because it was the only room that had like a door. All the other rooms don't have doors. It's the only room that had like a door.
And the door was number 9.
Wait, so y'all saw it go back in the
Or-
room?
yeah,
To
while
open
we
the
were in-
door?
No,
we
it
were
just
in the
like
trailer.
went in, like
Yeah.
like.
Like while we were.
And so that's why when we saw the door, we were like, yeah, nah, because like it had to, So we were like, nah, and that's whenever we were like, we're not even gonna pass by it.
We're gonna go all the way around.
we went
that
all the way
one
around.
where the hole was, where we would drop the stuff. We would
that
go. We
other
went
side.
around it.
Yeah.
We
To
went
go
all
to
the
the
way
house.
around to go back.
Because we didn't
Y'all
want.
went outside the entrance and then
No. So we.
You know how the trailer was like right here, and like Raymond's house is up here.
yeah.
We went on this side where these apartments were.
Because
At.
remember how there was that other.
So y'all didn't. But I thought y'all said y'all checked it out.
We did.
We went up to the room, and when we saw it had that door, we were like, we're not going in. Yeah, we were like, we're not going in.
And then we came back.
We didn't. Yeah, so we didn't want to. We just went back around, and then. So I went inside. They went to Julian's house. I went inside. Everybody was asleep at that point. So like I just went to my room. Couldn't even sleep. I was just there, you know.
And then me and Julian kept talking about it when we got to his place. We were like, what the fuck was that?
And then I remember I went to the next morning. I tell my dad, and he was like, "I'm only tripping," you know. But like, I was like, "No, I know what I saw. I know it was there."
We were like, we all saw it.
And so the next day during the day, they came back over, and they were like, "All right, let's go see now."
In the daylight.
So then we went into the room, and we the door was like stuck, like so like we ended up having to like bust it open. So like we were like, yeah, you know, like whatever it was, like it wasn't gonna just go through this door after how tough it was for us to open. And so we go in and it was like, I mean, there was nothing, but like the thing about the room itself was just like
it was the cleanest room.
Yeah, it was the only room that seemed like nothing was wrong with it.
Like all the windows were still good. Like the roof didn't cave in yet.
Yeah,
like it was still a good room. It was still a
good room, you know. But then what was even crazier too is that after we went in there and like noticed all of that, then the room started to deteriorate. You know what I mean? Like then next thing we know, windows were broken. You know, we'd go back out there and the door was fucked up. You know, we'd go back out there and like the roof was starting to cave in. You know what I mean? But like none of it was like that when we first saw it. You know, and so ever since then, that's why that room we never messed with it. You know, we were just like, yeah. Let it be.
Off limits.
Yeah, it was number 9, and it's still there, you know.
And it's weird because how the 9 was like it was kind of curved, and like where it was broken.
Oh yeah,
it kind of made it look like it was hair.
So like because there's like a chip in the, or I don't know if it's still like that, but there was a chip in the door on the number 9. There was like something that broke it, or like the door was chipped, right? And so it looked like it made like a face, and then like the 9 was like the hair flowing over. You know what I mean? Like that's how it would look. Now. You know, we were just like, I don't know, everything was coincidence at this point. We didn't know what to think, what to believe, but, you know, it was crazy. And we would tell people that story all the time, like, you know. Like,
and then Kevin came over one time.
Oh, yeah, Kevin Mendoza, he came over once, and we were all chill. It was just me, Bob, and Kevin. We were chilling outside. We had a fire going, and...
Started getting dark.
Yeah, it started getting dark. And then so behind us, we started hearing, like footsteps. You know, like when someone's walking on, like, twigs and shit, you know? Yeah. And so we started hearing shit. And so... Kevin was like,
"Yo, what the?
Hey, y'all hear that?" You know, and we were just like, "Yeah," you know, like just nothing's gonna happen. We're just like, "It's all right," you know, like don't trip, you know. And he kept tripping. He was like,
"Bro, who's there?"
Bro, like someone's there. He's like, "Y'all are fucking with me, huh?"
Like,
and then we were like, he was like, "Julian." we were like, "Bro, relax, like nothing's happening." Like, and so the main thing was we didn't want people to always be tripping, you know, like we didn't want to turn my place into like,
oh, it's like, so scary.
I would say it's haunted too.
Yeah,
because this dude would scare me when I'd stay the night, bro. He'd be like, sometimes I hear the door, like
jiggle.
Oh yeah, I remember I remember that.
And then there was one time I didn't know it was mice or a rat or whatever.
Oh yeah,
but. I thought it was. Did I know it was a rat or I don't know?
I don't remember. Okay, so basically, like there was like a mouse. You know what I mean? And like you could hear it when it would like run by. And I remember like it was in the middle of the night, and like I woke up because I see this guy, like on the edge of the bed, like
looking down.
I just hit the bed, bro. Like that's gonna do something.
Like, and he was like, but I didn't know if he knew it was the mouse or if he was just tripping, thinking it was something else, and he was just there, like, you know, like
gonna do something.
And I was like, bro, relax, like it's just a mouse. And so, but yeah, I remember like that. But like as kids, and we were young at that point too, because I remember telling him at a super young age, like, yeah, this place is pretty sketch. And
remember, Kevin was all tripping. We were like, bro, it's just.
Yeah, he was tripping.
We were just like, bro, it's just.
And we were just like, just relax.
Just relax, bro. It's just. We were like, it's just a ghost.
And I remember he was there. He was there on a bike. I remember he was
all the way from his house, bro. He rode that bike.
Wild.
And I remember he was like, I'm going home. Bro.
Yeah.
Across town.
Yeah, bro. And it was already late. He's like, bro, I'm just going to go home. Yeah. And he like booked it. And me and Raymond, we just sat out there.
He carried a rock with him. He grabbed a big rock and got on the bike.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, that was funny.
That was a fun ass night.
But yeah, so I mean, there's plenty of stories that we could talk about as far as like shit like that, people hearing shit, things like that. But and it's crazy because like whenever we would have the big get-togethers at my place, nobody would ever say they saw something or hear something. It was always when it was just small groups.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, maybe there was shit going on when all those people were out there, but because it was all of us being loud and the music.
Remember when we
Didn't
went
hear
to go
no
see
We
the
fucking be freestyling out there too.
Yeah.
Bro. In the cycle, that shit was sick, man. Those are the days.
Yeah. But yeah, those were.
Cookouts. Fucking Blake. We had Blake. Oh, no offense to Blake. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he would
He
have
was
him
the-
cook for
he
us.
was the only one
He was the only
that-
one that could.
Yeah.
None of us knew how to fucking. We'd be cooking on diesel.
We get it from the
From the tank.
tank. That's all we did, bro. Raymond
Oh,
Sam was the
who
one
knew
that
how to do that?
Me.
You?
I remember. I'd
You
get
He
up
would
to
stick the
blow?
hand.
No, I'd get a bottle because the hole was big enough. It was like a semi truck, so like it's got a big hole. So I'd fit the bottle in, and then I would just fill it with the gas or the diesel, and then I'd pull it out, put the lid back on, poke a hole, and then we would just and start the fire.
Is that even good for you, bro?
No, it's not. Oh, we would eat like
So for
Like
anybody watching this that
bacon.
attended our cookouts, now you know.
what you have ate.
I mean, it didn't taste bad.
Oh, I got you, man. I got you. And so, yeah, it was just good times though. But like, yeah, I mean, I remember those days though. But like, yeah, we never and like in those times we never experienced nothing or anything.
Yeah.
It was just, so I don't know. Maybe I mean, like I said, maybe there was things, but we just didn't notice,
Mhm.
because of all the cars and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But good times, good times.
For sure.
But yeah, there's a lot more we can still talk about, but we're going on 45 minutes now. So I mean, we're definitely gonna have to make a part two.
Part two,
Yeah,
and
we're
just
gonna have to make
keep it
part
going.
two.
You know what I mean?
Hopefully we
But,
can get Matt.
Yeah, no
Maybe.
doubt.
For sure.
But yeah, I think this is a good stopping point, especially because we got things to do,
Mm-hmm.
adults,
Yeah.
But anyways, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment on this podcast. Let us know what you want to see, what you want to hear. I'll have these guys' stuff linked below, so you can go add them on whatever you want to. And yeah, keep a lookout for this guy. He's gonna be dropping some music soon. Hopefully, I can get something going for myself. And then Bob, just keep doing you, man. Do your thing. And so yeah, but yeah, keep a lookout for part two. We'll see these guys. Hopefully, we can get our other homies on it too. Get a part two going. We just continue on this reminiscing journey.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's do it.
So catch you guys later. You guys want to say peace to the camera?
Till next time.
Till next time.
You have a good one.
Give him a hand. Thanks for being on the show. You already know what's up. All right, everybody. Y'all take care. Stay blessed. Let's catch you on the next one.